Skull and Bones is nearly here, and the open beta was available over this past weekend. I did get some time to play the closed beta, but my time was limited with it and I wasn't able to test out the multiplayer aspect of the game, so most of that session revolved around me getting used to the controls and game mechanics, as well as sailing around the seas on my own. I came away from the closed beta feeling like it was fine and had promise, but nothing was really exciting me yet. Fast forward to the open beta, which starts off the same way. You're shipwrecked and have to make your way back to St. Anne's in order to get your ship, take on some missions and climb the ranks as a feared pirate. The plus side to this open beta was that it was just that, it was open. No time limit, save data carries over, so it doesn't feel like a waste of time grinding for gear that I would need to be grinding for again. And most importantly, I could now play with friends. You can team up with 2 other players, so 3-player crews, and that's where I found the game really opens up for you. Ship battles and settlement plunders now feel more tactical, and the game becomes a more social experience rather than a solitary grind. It's also useful for taking on more difficult objectives, and the game does feel like it gets more difficult the stronger you get. Also, if you're like me and like exploring, then you'll for sure come across enemies that will make you feel like you shouldn't be there. What I found from my around 10 hours of game time was that things just clicked for me now. By the time I was an hour into the game, I was used to the controls and felt comfortable battling ships for the most part. The more I played, the easier it felt to shoot with my front cannons, let them cool down, rotate my ship to use the side cannons, wear down the enemy just enough, pull up beside them and then board them. Even if it is just a cutscene, it felt really satisfying. Obviously, the main comparison with this game will be with another Ubisoft title, and probably one of my favourite of its series, Assassin's Creed Black Flag. In that game, you captained the pirate ship in much the same way as Skull and Bones, but you also had the option of jumping from your ship during battles and fighting hand to hand or sword to sword with the crew of the enemy ships. Skull and Bones gets rid of that completely, and even though there are on-foot sections in this game, it will be mainly used for taking on missions, finding treasure, or for visiting shops to make new parts for your ship, buy new clothes or refine materials. This may feel like a missed opportunity for most people, however, I think the thing to remember is this game is designed to be played with others. It's not a single player game where those mechanics would be easier to implement. In order to keep the action moving and make sure the game actually works to the best of its ability, then it needs to be more streamlined in places, I think, and to be fair, the ship battles as they are really fun and tense when you're in a tough battle. Speaking of the game working, this was obviously a beta test, so I did run into a few bugs, which is to be expected. One of which was having the game crash while I was in my 3-player crew. In fact, we each experienced crashes. However, what I commend with the game is the fact that once opened again, the game gave us the choice to rejoin the group, meaning that we were back into the action in a couple of minutes, if that. I've played other games like this where you could be waiting for what feels like an age, and it really breaks up the immersion of everything, and that doesn't seem like it will be a problem for Skull and Bones, which is good. Visually, the game looks good, seeing storms form in the distance, knowing you'll have to brave the waves, add to that haptic feedback with the PS5 controller, and it actually makes the game feel very tense in moments when you're not even fighting. The music is great, it all has this epic feel to it. Skull and Bones is a game that has definitely grown on me and I think has a lot of promise. As a single player experience, I think it's fine, but playing in a group is where the game really shines, and it's really easy to add people to your party. Obviously, if you go into this one with expectations of it being like Black Flag, then you'll be disappointed. I've had a lot of fun with it, and if my playtime is anything to go by, then I think I'll be sinking many more hours into the game once the full thing releases. I hope that more events will be added to the game to mix things up outside of story and side missions and give the online community more things to do together. I'm having fun with it anyway, and if it looks like something you might enjoy, then stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the high seas real soon.